I don't know what happened though. What happened? Yair Rodriguez.
Oh yeah, so you want to jump
He,
into it? That was the interesting fight. I feel like the second one was a good fight, but I feel like what went down in the Yair one was like I don't know. Like you said, there
stressed.
just go ahead.
No, you good, bro. It was stressful. It was.
I feel
Brian Ortega rolled his ankle on the intro.
that
Did you
shit
see
was
that?
crazy. I saw
He
that was the
rolled his
wildest part, and
ankle.
you could tell him kind of, you could see him kind of walking it out most of the first round. Actually, if he was paying attention, and it was just that's wild that he just came back and did what he did.
Yep.
And that's the one who won, right?
Yep.
Or damn,
Rolled his ankle and he got his ass
was it
whooped the first
close?
round. Yeah, because he got his ass
He got
whooped the first
okay.
round. He was bloodied up. He was fucked up. And in the end of the first round, dude who was fucked up got a takedown out of nowhere and just got top control for like a whole last 60 seconds of the fight.
Hmm.
Went into second round all confident and shit. He's in Mexico fighting a Mexican and the crowd is still cheering his name, bro. The Mexican American, but still that shit
Damn.
threw me off
That,
because that never happens. Even
Hmm.
when it's Mexican Americans fighting Mexicans in Mexico, they
Hmm.
always cheer for the Mexican born person, bro.
Hmm.
And I don't know, man. They cheated, bro. They gave him some random spirit cheering his name, and he just came back. I mean, he fucked Yair up the second round. What did he do? He took him down like the whole round, right?
Yeah, he had him on the ground most of it. I just feel like he kind of
Hmm.
found it at the end of the first round. He found it, like figured out, like after getting his ass beat, he realized like, oh, and I think they were even saying like, kind of get your ass beat and you realize you're still in it. Sometimes that's not the fighter you want to fight against. Somebody that already got his ass
Yeah.
beat, but still in the mix. And yeah, figured out he can get some top control. I won't say easily because them niggas was going at it, but he realized he had enough to get top control in that situation and kind of just sat there. Not sat there. He was there for a lot. Landed some nasty elbows, honestly, at the end of the first round.
Hmm.
And I think that kind of previewed what was going to come in the second round. I think he cut Yair open pretty early. I feel
In the
like
yeah.
in the second
Hmm.
round, just because again, yeah, he was just once he got him on the ground, he was kind of nasty with it.
Yeah, right below the eye, I think it was like on the side of the eye where he busted him open. Yeah, that shit was nasty, man. It was a good fight. Brian Ortega fought a really good fight. He hadn't fought in like a year and a half because his last fight was Yair Rodriguez, I think. Yair submitted him and popped his shoulder out when he submitted him.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
everybody was calling it a fluke, but it wasn't really a fluke. Like his shoulder popped out because of the fact that he was in a submission. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
maybe if you weren't in the middle of a submission and your shoulder popped out while you were being attempted to be submitted. So like Yair straight up got him the first one, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Brian Ortega got him. He got him. Got his get back after surgery,
Mm-hmm.
a year and a half off,
Nah.
damn near. It's crazy. It's crazy. Comeback, crazy story.
Nah, it seemed like a really big moment for him. What happens now? I feel like 'cause I think that was the thing we were talking about last week, right? Like if Yair wins this, he gets the shot. But like,
Yeah.
what happens now?
Now, maybe Brian Ortega fights. Who knows? He could fight Taporia.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he could fight Volkanovski. Winner fights Taporia. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
he waits and fights the winner of. Maybe Max Holloway comes down and
Yeah.
after he fights Justin Gibbons. That just depends on how that fight goes or what's gonna happen next for Max Holloway. So that
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's tricky. Right now it's looking like Taporia or a Volkanovski match though. Taporia or Volkanovski.
Makes sense. Support.
Probably 60-40 on Taporia.
Yeah.
Taporia 60.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, it seemed like I feel like deserved. I feel like if Yair is gonna get the shot, if you beat the guy that would have got the shot, be
You would
interesting though.
think. You would
Uh,
think that's how it goes. And sometimes this shit just don't
yeah,
make sense.
you never know. That's what happens when it's not set in stone. Actually,
Exactly.
um, yeah, no, that was a wild one. I feel like that was a good one. What were your or before we even get to main? I feel like what was the one? I feel like the one after the one right into the last one of the prelims and the first one. I feel like both of these kind of hit actually.
Oh yeah. Did you watch the entire card? Or
I turned it
is that
on. I caught this one. This is only a prelim I caught.
okay? Okay.
I caught this one in the prelim, and I
Yeah.
feel like this one. I don't know. This one kind of got me hyped for what the card might
Yeah.
be actually coming in because this shit was kind
That's
of
like
fire actually. Niggas just had the nigga. This nigga was going
Quinones.
Barcel. Yeah, both of
Oh
them
yeah,
niggas was bringing
Barcelos.
a lot of
Yeah,
energy though off the rip. It's crazy. I feel like Barcelos kind of. I want to say he snuck it away at the end, but I feel like that fight was kind of
surely
getting
did.
close to going the other way,
Yeah,
actually.
he was going through deep waters for a bit, bro. Yeah,
Hmm.
Barcelos had a crazy comeback. That was a good. Well, I don't even remember what kind of submission it was. It's fuck, but I remember it was a nice one, man. He
Yeah.
snuck it in there. Was this standing? Was it a
I think
standing
it
submission?
was. I'm pretty sure it was. It was a weird situation where it's just like it could have really, even in that moment, that shit could have went either way, and the nigga just ended up in the right space to nigga
Crazy.
pull that shit out, man. But it was that one, and was it this one? I think it was this one. What happened in this one?
But
This was kind of
uh,
wild. The
I
first one
think I
of
can't remember. I think Chris Duncan was getting touched up a bit, and then he started trying to shoot, and then did he get caught in a gi trying to shoot? Or I can't remember this one that much. I was
yeah,
I
it
was
was. He
paying
got caught.
attention,
He
but not
got
too much.
caught in the. Yeah, it was a weird looking. Yeah, it was a weird space that you saw it in, but it just happened quick. Just both the
Yeah,
submissions in these back to back were just like, what?
yeah,
What am I watching actually?
yeah. It
Because it
was a good.
wasn't.
Yeah,
Because it didn't feel like the ones where like I don't know. You see a nigga that works for it, like not like works for or has to work for it, but like nigga, like yeah, get the nigga to the ground, do some good ground and pound, get him to a point where he like all he can do is like give you his back or give him a compromising position, kind of get a submission from there. But it was more like these niggas was just in the middle of kind of scrapping both times, and it just ended with a quick submission in a space where you're not used to seeing. Well, I'm not at least used to seeing submissions in
yeah.
the shit
No,
I
for sure.
watch. So it was interesting, man. Um, but yeah, I don't know. These two were kind of boring to me.
Yeah, I for surely the Yasmin fight was whatever. The Daniel
Oh
Zell was
yeah, no, Zoe Hoover was
pretty
solid.
nice.
My bad. Yeah. I
It was
forgot.
it was pretty good. He touched him up pretty good. It was a
Yeah,
decision, right? He touched him up pretty good though.
yeah, it was a
Was
decision.
it a stop? Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
decision.
it felt like a bizarro version of the Neil Gary fight from last week.
Yeah,
Actually, kind of in a weird way, because it
yeah,
was just the length. It was like feel like it's not like Prado was necessarily fighting poorly. He just couldn't get through the length really at all, like kind of type shit. But yeah,
yeah.
Zoe Hoover was touching him up after a while. Um, you want to talk about Moreno Royval?
Yeah. What a fight! I didn't expect it to go that close. That shit was crazy. Honestly, I thought either Brandon would just dominate, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Royval would get like a knockout. I did not see Brandon Royval winning a decision. That he deserved it, bro. Did you who did you get? Who did you have winning?
It seemed like Royval by the end. I felt like that's who I felt like should have got it. But honestly, I wanted to. I think that's the thing. I felt like everybody felt we were going into the fifth round, and it could have went either way. And I don't know. It was interesting. I don't feel like anybody necessarily dominated that round. So I was curious to see just what the cards were going to be. Because even though everybody
Yeah,
thought it was 2-2 going into that point, you never know. But I feel like
yeah,
Royval was the better fighter,
yeah.
definitely. So
I definitely felt the same way. Like I thought it was 2-2 going into round five, but I
mm-hmm.
wasn't sure because I thought Brandon won round one and two, and I thought
Yeah.
Royval won three and four,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt like three was up for grabs. I was a three or four. I felt like one of those was up for grabs.
Yeah. No.
I think that Brandon Royval's output was just a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like Nate Diaz, Colby Covington-esque, where
Yeah.
he just poured it on him nonstop.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of Brandon Moreno shelling up. It was a lot of Brandon Moreno shelling up, and Royval just throwing combos, splitting guard, throwing hooks, and just getting in.
Mm-hmm.
And not all of them landed, but he just kept doing it over and over again. And Brandon would come out of the shell and
Mm-hmm.
throw like a hook and throw an overhand and hurt
Mm-hmm.
Royval. His hits hurt more,
Yeah.
obviously,
No.
but like it just wasn't enough of it. It felt like,
Yeah. Felt like he got outpointed essentially in a weird
yeah,
way, which was just because it was weird because he was landing. Like you said, he was landing the more significant strikes, like of the significant. Like they were both landing significant strikes, but you felt like you felt his more. You felt the power behind his a little more, definitely.
yeah, for
But
sure.
it was crazy to see the numbers. Cause I feel like even early first couple of rounds, they were even talking about how Moreno's accuracy was kind of crazy. But just as the fight went on, just he threw over twice as many punches or twice as many strikes the entire fight. Royval than Moreno did. which I think just ends up. I think that's the thing, right? 28%. He only lands 28% of his shots, but he throws 500 of them. And Moreno lands 53% of his shots, but he only throws 211. And that's kind of the difference in the fight. It's like you can land really accurately, you can land really well, but if the other guy's just touching you up pretty much the entire fight, it's going to be hard to win it, I guess. But I mean, split decision, so who even
Exactly.
knows? But
It's not based on
mhm,
accuracy percentage. It's based on
yeah,
who's get touched more. Like it does not matter who misses more.
yeah. So yeah, no, it was an interesting fight though, really good fight. Feel like it's been a while. I don't know if it's been a while. It's always interesting whether you get the knockout in a big fight like this or whether they go the distance. So it was cool to see. Um, Anything else from UFC? I feel like where does flyweight go from here? Because I feel like because these were both niggas that were kind of both top three, right, or top four.
Yeah, Royval was 3, Moreno was 1, and
Oh yeah,
they both have already lost to the champion.
yeah,
So it's gonna be interesting. I think that Royval's maybe is gonna have. He lost to Pantoja twice already before, so it's tricky.
mm-hmm,
Um, but maybe he gets a third match. Maybe for stepping up because he stepped up
mm-hmm.
in like a 3-4 week notice
Oh damn, yeah,
for this fight. He was for a replacement. Brandon Moreno was supposed to fight somebody else.
I got you. No, that's a big step up too, and that's one of
Yeah.
the things I feel like Dana learning what Dana's consistent about. That's one of the things he tends to like to reward is when a guy feels. If it makes sense if a guy
Mhm.
kind of steps up in the moment where you need a guy to step up, you're gonna make sure you take care of him in the next one.
Exactly. And Dana said he thought that he won too. He thought Royval won. He
Mm,
said everybody that he was with thought he won. So
mm.
he just might fight Pantoja third. He said, "Ain't no way Pantoja could beat me 3 times in a row, right?" We'll see. It's a good one.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.